Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Vivienne. I am the business software coach. So in today's video, we will share the sales and operations planning in supply chain management. And you will learn to understand the different type of sales and operations planning strategies and be able to recognize them in the sample business scenario. So let's get started for today. Mary owns a school supplies company. They make color and decorator notebooks, pen, and other school and office supplies. She wants to make sure that she is making enough supplies for her customers, but not too many. After all, she doesn't want to get stuck with thousands of notebooks that she can't sell. Mary is thinking about supply chain management, which involves managing the flow of goods and services. Essentially, supply chain management is about getting forms of raw materials to having completed products in the consumer's hand. The problems that Mary is facing is how to handle her company's productions to meet customer demand without exceeding them. This is one part of supply chain management. To help Mary manage her productions, let's look at the sales and operations planning and some common strategy for companies like Mary. Because Mary's companies make school supplies, they don't sell the same amount of supplies every quarter. They do a lot of business in the third quarter of the year, at the end of the summer and beginning of fall, and they sell a good amount of supplies in the first quarter too, as students start a new semester, but they sell very few products in the second and fourth quarters of the year. She would like to know how she could run her business so that they are able to produce the right number of products at the right times. Part of the supply chains is sales and operations planning, which is the integrations of input from sales, operations, and finance departments to set the place, intermediate supplies, and demand plan. It is also sometimes called aggregate planning. In addition to being based on information from different parts of the company, sales and operations planning influences functions throughout the companies. For example, it might change how people are hired and laid off, or how the company's finance budgets are distributed over the course of the fiscal year. Sales and operations planning is particularly useful for companies that experience seasonal or other variations in demand for their products. As we have seen, Mary's companies has seasonal variations in demands from their customers. Sales and operations planning can help Mary's focus on how the company should be run so that they can meet the high demand of the first and third quarters while not making too many products in the second and fourth quarters. So far, we have been talking about sales and operations planning in general terms. If you are like Mary, you are probably wondering about specific. How can Mary use sales and operations planning to help her deal with seasonal flow of her business? There are many sales and operations planning strategies. Some of the more popular ones that might help Mary out include overtime and undertime work. Mary could offer her employee additional overtime hours during the busy seasons and have them work less during the less busy season. This way, they can make more products in the quarters that they need them and fewer products in the low demand quarters. Using part-time and seasonal workers is another way that Mary can implement sales and operations planning. For example, she might hire workers just for the back-to-school rush, like overtime and undertime work. This allowed Mary to make more products in busy seasons than fewer in non-busy seasons. Subcontracting or hiring other companies to do some jobs is another option for some aspect of Mary's business. For example, she might let another company recruit and hire her seasonal workers instead of having her recruited on staff. So far, the example we have looked at can be used individually or together to help Mary if she wants to make more products when they are in demand and fewer products when they aren't. But what if She would rather just average things out over the course of the year. Level productions is another sales and operations planning strategy. This involves averaging productions out over the year and producing the same number of products from quarter to quarter. In the low demand quarters, they will make too many products and put them in the warehouse. But when a busy season approaches, they'll be able to use the products in the warehouse to help them meet demand. Level productions means that Mary wouldn't have to change her staffing or productions need from quarter to quarters. Instead, her team will work the same amount of time, whether it's February or August, to meet demands over the long haul. So, what's the lesson summary for today? Supply chain management involves managing the flow of goods and services. Part of the supply chain management is sales and operations planning, which is the integrations of input from sales, operations, and finance departments to set in place intermediate supplies and demands plan. It is also sometimes called aggregate planning, and is particularly useful for companies that experience seasonal or other variations in demand for their products. Strategies for sales and operations planning include overtime and undertime work, part-time and seasonal workers, subcontracting, and level productions. That's all for my sharings in today's video. If you're the first time here, please subscribe to my channels and hit the notification bell. Every week, I'll be recording a weekly video like this to share with you guys. My name is Vivienne, I am the Business Software Coach, and I see you in my next video.